Hello, so here we have all of our dryer parts, all these fan assemblies. I'm going to go through and discuss each one of them, and then we'll go through and install each one of them on the bearing post with the nut to see if they turn and to show the different distances and things like that. And why none of these parts that I have here replace the current part that was in the dryer. This first part was the one that was originally in the dryer. Okay, note that it doesn't have any ribbing on the center post for where the belt goes. It's a 10mm hub, of which you can, if you take this and put this right here, you'll see that this distance, this right here, from here to this point to this point, is 10mm. So, another one of the parts we have here has ribbing on the, if you can see the ribbing on that center post, there you can see it. And this has a 12mm hub. You can see how they're different. When you stack them on top of each other. You can see how the one touches the bottom and the other one doesn't, so they're different. So this one is 12mm. This is 12mm hub. All of the other, all four parts that have been sent are all 12mm hubs, which is different from the original part that was in the dryer, which is a 10mm hub. Now this hub has the ribbing, and it has a steel bearing in the middle. This next part also has a 12mm hub, has the ribbing on that post, and has a brass center bearing. This one also is 12mm. Note that the difference, this one does not have the ribbing and actually has a thinner wall there. This one also has a brass bearing. This final one also does not have the ribbing on that center where the belt goes, and it has a steel bearing at the top. All the other characteristics of all these are the same. So the first one, when I take this as the original part and stick this in the dryer on the hub or on the center post. Now I have these four washers. One is brass, goes on first. The nylon washer goes on second. There's a combination of two washers here that go on last. And then you have the big piece that goes on. I'm going to hand this to my assistant. When I stick this on, I take tighten it down. Note that this rotates freely. When I rotate this center, the fan assembly moves. Okay? That's our son Owen, whose diapers get dried by this dryer. So now I'm going to remove this one. Note this is the original part. Next, I'm just going to do one of these. This one is one of the 12mm hubs, so I stuck that on there. I'm going to put all the washers back on top. And I'm going to remount. Now I can already notice that this center post, there's not enough thread exposed to hold the nut. So now when I tighten it down, everything is locked solid. Nothing turns very well. In my attempt to move this, I cannot move the fan assembly separately from the rest of the post, which tells me that there's not enough clearance to allow the bearing to turn. Or there's too much, too much holding it together. So I'm going to take this apart again. Looking for my measuring tape. So, as you can see here, measuring from the measuring here to the top of the post is about 23 millimeters. 23 millimeters. When I put the original part on, that came with it, you can see that it's about 26 millimeters. 25, 26. Okay. So we have a 2 millimeter difference, 2 to 3 millimeter difference here that we're trying to figure out. Now the other thing that I noticed, before this fan assembly became damaged, I had actually replaced the belt. I had ordered a belt from you guys, and what I just noticed is, note that this old piece does not have the ribbing. And when I put this belt and try to fit it in here, it actually doesn't fit in the groove. And this is what caused it to wear on this, this plastic, so that it didn't work anymore. It stopped rotating because it wasn't making it. See, it ended up wearing a groove, let's see, right there. See, it fits in here, but it fits in nowhere else. So I think what originally happened is that when I replaced the belt, I was given the wrong belt to fit on this fan assembly, which then caused this to be, which damaged it. And I think now the correct one, based on this belt, should actually be the one with the ribbing. So, and David, you told me that the best one, so here's the one with the ribbing. And notice that the fan belt rides much nicely on that center post there. And this is the one that has the steel center, the steel bearing. So what I'm going to do next, first of all, I still would like the real part, but what I'm going to do next on this, just to make it work, actually, I'm going to grind down this surface right here, which seems like it might still work. I'm going to grind down this surface and to add 2 millimeters, so that then I can put all these parts on and see if the fan assembly will turn. So, but I still would like to see if we can get the real part for this.